Hello there, I'm Anita and you're watching Nightline. News making the headlines. Malaysia-Indonesia ties lifted to a level both countries can be proud of. And Pulau Pinang seeks June 28th dissolution of State Assembly. Our headlining story. The close relationship between Malaysia and Indonesia, as well as the leaders of both countries, have managed to successfully resolve several long-standing issues. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said several bilateral instruments related to economy, trade, borders and maritime that were signed on Thursday also proved that matters that were difficult to resolve before can be made easy through the commitment and family-like relationship between the two countries.
Saya bangga dengan pimpinan kedua-dua menteri ini, rakan-rakan lain. Kita dapat selesaikan satu isu yang telah kita gunding selama berpuluh tahun.
Datuk Seri Anwar said this at a joint press conference after holding a meeting with Indonesian President Joko Widodo, better known as Jokowi, at the Sri Perdana complex on Thursday, marking Jokowi's two-day working visit to Malaysia. Among the issues which were successfully resolved include the maritime border disputes between the two countries in the Sulawesi Sea after 18 years of negotiations.
Saya menyambut baik penyelesaian negosiasi batas laut teritoria di Laut Sulawesi, di Selat Malaka bagian selatan, setelah 18 tahun proses negosiasi. 18 tahun. Bisa diselesaikan. Ini alhamdulillah.
Datuk Seri Anwar said the close and family-like relationship between him and Jokowi is extraordinary and will certainly bring about many positive impacts and benefits for the people and the country. Datuk Seri Anwar and Jokowi also witnessed the signing of 6 bilateral instruments. The 6 instruments are the Agreement on Border Crossing, BCA, Agreement on Border Trade, BTA, Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in Investment Promotion, Memorandum of Cooperation on Mutual Recognition of Halal Certification for Domestic Products, Treaty relating to the delimitation of the territorial seas of the two countries in the southernmost part of the Straits of Malacca, SOM Treaty, and Treaty relating to the delimitation of the territorial seas of the two countries in the Sulawesi Sea, Sulawesi Sea Treaty. Datuk Seri Anwar also gave assurance of continuous cooperation in dealing with cross-border haze issues, as well as in the fields of culture, education, dakwah activities and the understanding of Islam. At the same media conference, Jokowi also stated that both countries have agreed to form a special bilateral mechanism to resolve the problems faced by Indonesian migrant workers. He also expressed appreciation for Malaysia's commitment in strengthening the protection of Indonesian migrants working in the country.
Saya sangat menghargai sekali komitmen Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim untuk memperkuat perlindungan PMI Indonesia dan juga penegakan hukum yang adil bagi para pekerja Indonesia.
Jokowi also requested the Malaysian government to immediately repatriate Indonesians who are in immigration detention depots and expressed hope that the use of a single channel in the recruitment of Indonesian domestic workers can be optimised. In the meantime, both Malaysia and Indonesia are on the same page in efforts to defend the oil palm commodity against the threat posed by the anti-oil palm campaign.
Tahniah kerana kedua-dua menteri dalam rapat di Eropah telah pertama kalinya satu suara Indonesia-Malaysia menyuarakan pertahankan kepentingan kelapa sawit.
Both leaders have emphasised the need for close cooperation to address the European Union Deforestation Regulation, EUDR's highly detrimental discriminatory measures against palm oil, stressing that the EU needs to promptly address such discriminatory measures and work towards a fair and equitable resolution. Recently, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof, who is also Plantation and Commodities Minister, together with Indonesia's Coordinating Minister of Economic Affairs, Airlangga Hartarto, led a joint mission under the Council of Palm Oil Producing Countries, CPOPC, to the EU to convey concerns and objections to the newly legislated regulation. Later in the day, Datuk Seri Anwar and Jokowi spent some time at the infamous Pasar Chow on Jalan Raja Alang. The Indonesian president received a rock-star welcome during the visit to the popular market, also known as Little Jakarta, which was packed with thousands of people on Thursday afternoon. As soon as Datuk Seri Anwar and Jokowi arrived at about 12:30 p.m, the two leaders made their way through the popular Chow market, where shouts of Bapak Jokowi could be heard. Some delighted Indonesians sang the Indonesian national anthem, Indonesia Raya, to express their pride in Jokowi's presence at the wet market, where he mingled with traders and visitors. It is estimated that some 2,000 Indonesians had gathered since early in the morning to catch a glimpse of the two leaders. Datuk Seri Anwar and Jokowi enjoyed some durian cendol at Cafe Masa at Jalan Raja Laut before proceeding to restaurant Samudra Patin in Kampung Baru for lunch. A while later, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah granted an audience to the Indonesian president at Istana Negara. Jokowi and his wife, Iriana Joko Widodo, arrived at 3:35 p.m. to attend an evening reception with His Majesty and spent about an hour. Also present were the Raja Permaisuri Agong, Tunku Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandariah, and the Regent of Pahang, Tunku Hassan Al-Ibrahim Alam Shah Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah. Pulau Pinang will dissolve its state legislative assembly on June 28th to pave the way for a state election. Chief Minister Chow said he would seek an audience with the Yang di-Pertuan Negeri, Tun Ahmad Fuzi Abdul Razak, to get consent for the proposed date of the dissolution of the state assembly soon.
Tarikh pembubaran kita bercadang 28 Jun. 28 Jun. Okey. Sudah cukup
akan berjumpa dengan aktiviti pada 20.
Kita akan atur lah.
The state election must be held within 60 days of the Assembly's dissolution. The present term of the Pulau Pinang State Legislative Assembly will automatically expire on August 2nd if not dissolved earlier. The chief ministers of Pulau Pinang, Kedah, Kelantan, Negeri Sembilan, Selangor and Terengganu had in February agreed to dissolve their state assemblies by the end of June. In the meantime, Chow, who is also Pulau Pinang Pakatan Harapan chairman, said seat allocation among the coalition and Barisan Nasional, BN, in the state is now 95 resolved. Pulau Pinang has a total of 40 state seats, with 33 seats currently held by PH, 2 seats by UMNO, 1 by PAS, while 4 seats are vacant now. A total of 10,109 Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia SPM 2022 candidates obtained excellent grades or straight A's in all subjects. Education Director General Datuk Pakarudin Ghazali said a better national average grade or GPN score of 4.74 was recorded this year compared to 4.86 in the previous year. Datuk Pakarudin said a lower GPN value indicates better candidate achievement. He added from the 373,974 candidates who sat for SPM 2022, 75,322 of those candidates obtained average results with at least grade C for all subjects. A total of 342,742, or 91.6% of the candidates, were eligible to receive certificates, compared to a lower 88.1% of candidates last year.
Sukacita saya memaklumkan bahawa pencapaian calon SPM tahun 2022 adalah lebih baik berbanding calon SPM tahun 2021. Alhamdulillah. GPN tahun 2022 adalah 4.74 berbanding 4.86 pada tahun 2021, iaitu perbezaan sebanyak 0.12 mata.
Datuk Pakarudin noted that the SPM 2022 was the best achievement since the certification requirement was introduced in 2013, and for the first time, over 90% would be awarded. He also mentioned that the achievement gap between urban and rural areas had also narrowed by 0.03 points to 0.43 in 2022, compared to 0.46 in 2021. As for the GPN score according to school categories, he said there was a marked improvement in religious secondary schools, as 5.71 was recorded compared to 6.10 in 2021. Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim congratulated all candidates who obtained their SPM 2022 examination results on Thursday. In his social media postings, the Prime Minister hoped that those who obtained excellent results would be ready for the next stage. He also said this is not the end for those who did not receive great results. Instead, they should come up strong with determination to create new success. Datuk Seri Anwar also hailed the parents and educators who continue to support the children. Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi has downplayed a call for DAP to apologise to the party over past accusations levelled at it, saying there was no need to prolong the issue. The UMNO president said that DAP had agreed when forming the unity government with the party to uphold and respect Malay rights and the position of Islam, the Malay rulers and the Malay language. The demand for an apology was made by UMNO Youth Chief Dr. Muhammad Akmal Saleh at the Wing's Assembly on Thursday morning. In his speech, Dr. Akmal had demanded DAP apologise to UMNO purportedly for its past mistakes, saying it was necessary if the party wanted to win the backing of the Malays and UMNO supporters in the upcoming state elections.
Kalau masa nak tubuh kerajaan perpaduan dulu, DAP boleh terbang ke Sarawak berjumpa dengan GPS meminta maaf. Maka hari ini, kalau nak lembutkan hati orang UMNO, kalau betul-betul suci nak menjalinkan tali persahabatan ini, kita mohon DAP tarik balik atas segala tomohan yang diberikan kepada UMNO dulu.
Datuk Seri Zahid explained that an apology would not play any role in fostering cooperation between BN and PH. The UMNO president also stressed that BN and PH, including DAP, had given its full support to the terms of cooperation that have been signed for the formation of a stable and strong unity government.
Mereka telah menyatakan perkara ini beberapa kali dan malah di dalam perundingan kita untuk membentuk kerajaan ini pun perkara itu menjadi syarat utama pada kita dan mereka bersetuju 100%. Dan tidak perlu kita ulangi perkara yang telah mereka persetujui.
He also said that the UMNO grassroots were becoming more accepting of the political cooperation between Barisan Nasional and Pakatan Harapan, adding that UMNO's compatibility with PKR and DAP is growing day by day. In the meantime, UMNO Puteri Chief Datuk Nurul Amal Muhammad Fauzi has called on all its members to widen their perspectives and to understand the reasons why the party is being part of the unity government, even though it may require time to assimilate these changes.
Paling penting, saya nak ingatkan, have fun. Kerja dengan baik-baik, jangan gaduh-gaduh sesama kita. Nikmati proses bekerja sewaktu PRN nanti.
She said this in her policy speech at the Wing's meeting at the 2023 UMNO General Assembly in Kuala Lumpur on Thursday. Also present were UMNO Vice President Datuk Seri Johari Abdul Ghani, Supreme Council members Datuk Seri Abdul Aziz Rahim, Datuk Seri Shahaniza Shamsuddin and Datuk Muhammad Razlan Muhammad Rafi. DAP committee members and Bentong MP Yang Shafura Othman, PKR Women's Chief Anita Pillay and Amanah Youth Women's Chief Nur Takafah Nurdin were also in attendance. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, hopes that more funds seized during the 2016 Sabah Water Department graft investigations can be returned once court proceedings are concluded. Its Chief Commissioner, Tan Sri Azam Baki, said the Commission has provided regular updates on the investigations and ongoing trial.
Yang pastinya kita telah membuat tindakan memulangkan wang kepada kerajaan dalam bentuk pelucutan hak sebelum perbicaraan dan juga selepas perbicaraan itu nanti insya-Allah kita akan dapat memulangkan wang lebih daripada 53 juta kepada kerajaan.
Tan Sri Azam said this at a media conference after the closing of the Higher Education Institutions Anti-Corruption Debate Competition at University Malaysia Sabah, UMS, on Thursday. He said that MACC has already returned approximately 40 million ringgit to the government. Last week, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, during a Temu Anwar session with students at UMS, said that he would direct the MACC to recover the funds and provide an explanation regarding the money in the water corruption case. The Sabah water corruption trial is expected to resume between June 20th and 22nd. Coming up next, France stabbing attack leaves 9 wounded. The details when we return. Stay tuned. Malaysia back. We're back with news on the foreign front. A blast in Afghanistan's northern province on Thursday has killed at least 15 people and left more than 50 others injured. The explosion reportedly occurred at a mosque in Faizabad city, where a memorial service was underway for the deputy governor of Badakhshan province that was killed by a car bomb earlier this week. Authorities said a former police official was among those killed, adding that there were concerns that the number of casualties could rise further. So far, no group immediately claimed responsibility for the attack. Eight young children and 1 adult were stabbed in a knife attack at a beauty spot in southern France on Thursday. The children were as young as 3 years old, and that 3 of those injured were in serious condition. It was reported that a group of school children were on a supervised trip to Lake Annecy in the French Alps when the attack happened at 9:45 a.m. local time. The suspect, a 31-year-old Syrian Christian who had refugee status in Sweden, was then shot in the legs by police and arrested. The motive remains unclear. The incident has also made the lawmakers in the French Parliament to interrupt a debate to hold a minute's silence. The Philippines raised the alert level at the popular Mayon volcano by a notch on Thursday after detecting volcanic earthquakes and hundreds of rockfall events. The country's volcanology agency warned of a potential explosive activity within weeks or even days of the most active volcano located on the southernmost tip of Luzon Island, raising the alarm over the 2,460-meter volcano to the 3rd level in a 5-step warning system. It also advised the evacuation of people in the 6-kilometer radius danger zone due to the danger of pyroclastic density current, lava flows, rockfalls and other volcanic hazards. Mayon is among the most active of 24 volcanoes in the country, having erupted more than 50 times in the last 4 centuries. In a sweeping climate science update, 50 top scientists on Thursday warned that record-high greenhouse gas emissions and diminishing air pollution have caused an unparalleled acceleration in global warming. From 2013 to 2022, it was reported that human-induced warming has been increasing at an unprecedented rate of over 0.2 degrees Celsius per decade. Average annual emissions over the same period hit an all-time high of 54 billion tons of carbon dioxide, or its equivalent in other gases, which was about 1,700 tons each second. World leaders will be confronted with the new data at the critical COP28 climate summit later this year in Dubai, where the findings would appear to close the door on capping global warming under the Paris Treaty's more ambitious 1.5 degrees Celsius target. Up next, Penang.
anda untuk Harimau Malaya. Siri Persahabatan Antarabangsa. Secara langsung hanya di TV9 dan Astro saluran 149.
As promised, we're back with sports football, the 2023 Super League. 2 more matches were played on Thursday night. PDRM FC recorded a narrow 1-0 win over Sabah FC. At the Bandaraya Stadium, hosts Penang FC were held to a 1-1 draw by 10-man Kuala Lumpur City FC. Cheche Kipre put KL City in front after just 7 minutes, just for Giovanni Gomez to draw level for Penang seconds before the break. The scoreline remained till the final whistle, forcing both sides to be satisfied with a share of points. Moving on to tennis, the 2023 French Open. Casper Ruud defeated fellow Scandinavian Holger Rune in 4 sets to reach the semi-finals of Roland Garros. The 4th-seeded Ruud looked set for an easy victory as he took the first 2 sets 6-1, 6-2. Rune bounced back to claim the 3rd set 6-3. Rune's hope of a comeback, however, diminished as Ruud won the decider 6-3, wrapping up the game in 2 hours and 47 minutes to continue his bid for a 2nd consecutive final at the clay court major. The 24-year-old will meet Alexander Zverev in Friday's semis. Zverev earlier battled his way back into the semi-finals a year after suffering a season-ending ankle injury. The German had struggled since returning to the tour in January, but has buried his demons on the Parisian clay and fought for 3 hours and 22 minutes to make it past surprise package Thomas Echeverry 6-4, 3-6, 6-3, 6-4. Zverev left Philippe Chatrier in a wheelchair 12 months ago after being forced to retire during a compelling last 4 clash with Rafael Nadal. Coming up after the break, lorry driver goes to jail for raping. Don't go away. Welcome back, still on Nightline. 2 outstanding Malaysian cadets have been chosen to pursue their education at renowned service academies in the United States this year. Umi Anur Shahmina Sohaini and Muhammad Faiz Izzuddin Mat Sahari emerged victorious among their global peers, earning admission to these prestigious institutions. Umi Anur Shahmina will be enrolling at the U.S. Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado, while Muhammad Faiz will attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point in New York. U.S. Ambassador to Malaysia, Brian D. McPheeters, who presented the 2 cadets with their offer letters at the embassy on Thursday, expressed his pride in the progress of the partnership between the U.S. and Malaysia, particularly in the fields of military and cybersecurity.
It is one example of the security ties that we have with Malaysia. We emphasize people-to-people aspect. So we send a few cadets every year. That's the pinnacle of the exchange program in terms of sending them for the 4-year experience.
Both Umi Anur Shahmina and Muhammad Faiz from this year's batch will graduate from the respective academies in 2027.
I feel so excited and scared at the same time, but I will give my best to undergo the training program and also the academic. So I will strive my best there.
I'm really excited for sure, and apa yang boleh saya kata, this is my responsibility. untuk saya galas nama baik Malaysia, nama baik United States juga.
This achievement reflects the dedication and talent of Malaysian youth, which also further strengthens the partnership between Malaysia and the US in the realms of education, defense and security. Currently, Malaysia has 8 cadets studying at various US service academies, with 2 at the US State Military Academy, 3 at the US Naval Academy and 3 at the US Air Force Academy. Investigation papers into 2 Perikatan Nasional MPs over remarks on toppling the government have been submitted to the Attorney General's Chambers, AGC. Home Minister Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said the police investigation involved Arau Member of Parliament Datuk Sri Syahidan Kasim and past President Tan Sri Abdul Hadi Awang. In a written reply in the Dewan Rakyat, Datuk Sri Saifuddin said the police conducted investigations based on 2 reports filed against the 2 Perikatan Nasional leaders, and both investigation papers have been handed to the AGC for further instructions. He said this in response to a question from Jelutong MP RSN Rae, who asked the government to state its actions against parties, including MPs who are allegedly actively involved in plotting to overthrow the unity government and making seditious and treacherous statements. In Sabah, a lorry driver was sentenced to 15 years in prison and 5 strokes of the cane by the Tawau Sessions Court for raping a 14-year-old girl who gave birth to a baby girl last March 13th. Judge Rosli Ahmad meted out the sentence against the 25-year-old man after he pleaded guilty to the charge. The accused, who is also the victim's cousin, was charged with raping the girl in a room at Bandar Sri Indah, Tawau, between July and August last year. According to the facts of the case, the victim was taken to the hospital and it was found that she was 36 weeks pregnant and gave birth to the baby girl on the same day. The charge under the Penal Code carries imprisonment of not less than 10 years and not more than 30 years and shall also be liable to whipping upon conviction. The court subsequently ordered the accused to serve his sentence starting from the date of arrest, which was on March 15th this year. Over in Sarawak, a woman was killed while 3 others were injured in an accident involving 2 vehicles at Jalan Miri Airport at around 2 a.m. on Thursday. The victim, 56-year-old Lua Ukam, was pronounced dead at the scene after the car she was travelling in, along with 2 others, collided with a 4-wheeled off-road vehicle. According to the State Fire and Rescue Department, upon arrival at the scene, the firefighters found that there was an accident involving a Perodua Beza and a Toyota Hilux. The authorities found that there were 3 people in the Perodua Beza, with one of the passengers at the back pinned to a seat. The driver of the car suffered injuries to his leg and right hand, while the car's front seat passenger and pickup driver escaped with light injuries. The victim's body was sent to the Miri Hospital for post-mortem, and the case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. That concludes Nightline this time around. But before we leave, let's take a look at underwater footage showing the richness of marine diversity on the seabed of Spain's Canary Islands as we celebrate World Ocean Day on Thursday. The United Nations designated each June 8th as World Ocean Day to raise awareness about the importance of the ocean and the impact human action has on them. You've been with me, Anita Wu, for the past half hour. Thank you for tuning in and be well, Malaysia.